Inflation is very much 3 inches in front of people's face. They go to the store, the prices of everything are going up. They want to try to buy a house, prices of homes are going up. So inflation is definitely on everybody's mind. But now, is gold good for inflation? And are gold miners good for inflation? That's what we're going to cover in this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Mariusz Konieczny. I run Microcap Explosions, a private membership website that is dedicated for microcap stocks, which are ignored and underfollowed by the investment industry. I also wrote about 10 books on investing, one of which is available for a free download at microcapexplosions.com. Finally, I also created valueinvestinguniversity.com, which is a free resource to make you a more intelligent investor. It is such a popular view that gold is good to protect you against inflation. And it's true. As a kid, I remember my parents or grandparents had gold, and that gold, today's dollars or whatever currency, for sure it maintained the purchasing power. So gold is fantastic for that. But the problem is that so many people come from that view that, governments around the world are debasing the currencies, inflation is rampant, and it's going to continue like this. And they go and invest in gold miners for that reason, because they'll say gold is at $2,000. Eventually, it's going to go to $2,500, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000, whatever. You can find all kinds of views where gold is going to go. And in the early 2000, gold was $200. Right? $200, something like that. And the gold mining companies had to make a profit. So now imagine this. At that time, there was this view that, we're going to make so much money when gold goes from, 200 to 1,000. It's going to be nirvana. And now we're sitting at 2,000, right? And I don't have any doubt that gold is going to go to 2,500, 3,000, whatever number you can come up with. Gold is going to go there. Why? Because governments around the world are going to continue debasing their currencies. They're going to continue creating inflation, and gold is going to maintain the purchasing power. So the price of gold is going to adjust higher based on the debasement. But here's the problem with gold miners, is that gold miners, I see them kind of like governments a little bit. Remember how I made a video about governments, how governments collect tax revenue and then they have expenses. It doesn't matter how much money governments collect, they will always figure out a way to spend more. Like always, they collect 10 trillion, they're going to spend 14 trillion. They collect 100 trillion, they will spend 150 trillion. They always find ways to spend more money. It's like an irresponsible child or irresponsible uncle. I'm not saying that the government services are not needed. I'm not saying that at all. Government is absolutely needed. I believe that. But I think that they should be able to operate in a way that's within their means. And they never do. So when politicians come out and say, we're going to increase taxes on businesses or individuals so that we can close the deficit, don't you worry about a thing. They increase that, they're going to figure out a ways to give it away, create more programs. I have no doubt. And that's kind of like how I see gold miners. If gold is at 100, they will figure out a way how to produce it for 150. If gold is at 1,000, they will figure out how to produce it at 1,300, and meaning at a loss. Now, gold is at 2,000. I see some companies reporting numbers that it costs them 2,500 to produce it, right? This is like a government. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the gold goes to 10,000, their costs are going to go to 15,000, okay? And because during inflation, like we see right now, it takes more money to produce gold, right? You have input costs. Your input costs are going to cost more. You have to pay more for labor. You have to pay more for drilling. The governments see the price of gold going up. They want more royalties. They want more taxes. Everybody wants more, and more. The price of oil is going up, and oil is required to produce, processed gold, right? So all the input costs are going up with inflation, okay? And a lot of times they go up faster than the inflation. So the costs are going up faster, than the actual price of gold or your revenues. And also, when you have the price of gold going up, then you have the entrepreneurs that start these horrible gold companies. They look for deposits that are marginal. So those deposits were not economic at 1,000, but now that gold is at 2,000, they look for those deposits, and then they sell you and me the idea that now with the price of gold at 2,000, it's going to be economic. I mean, think about this. When I got involved in the gold miners, the price of gold declined to 1,000, okay? In 2011, the price of gold reached like 1,900, okay? And then there was this horrible bear market, and the price of gold went to almost 1,000. It was like 1,050, something like this. And now it's almost at 2,000, okay? And if you look at the companies that I talked about in my Why I Hate Gold Miners, none of them were successful. I mean, think about this. Their revenue potential, the product that they sell, doubled in price, and they still managed to mess it up. Okay? So for those that say, oh, you have to catch the cycle, then you're going to be fine. Most of the time, the way you make money in gold miners is not when inflation is high, but when people's excitement about that sector gets so hot that they will bid up the prices of these stocks. But fundamentally, the probability of success is so tiny that for me, it's not even worth playing. That's why I made one video about how do you make money in miners, is start a website talking about miners, start a YouTube channel, raise money for the miners, be a driller, like do everything but the actual mining. Do the services that provide that. Because if you're drilling for a gold company, you're gonna get paid for drilling, whether whatever you drill is good or bad, okay? If you have a YouTube channel that interviews CEOs and charges to interview them, you're gonna get paid for interviewing them. It doesn't matter if they're gonna be successful or not, you're gonna get paid. Or if you have a website and you accept sponsorships from those horrible companies, you're gonna get paid because they're always looking for suckers to believe in those stories. So next time you hear, oh, inflation is good for gold companies, think twice about it. Gold is good for inflation if you're trying to maintain the purchasing power, but not gold miners. So thanks for watching.